The following is a presentation of Muddy River Sports.
Welcome to another episode of Schuck on a Truck. We are 2 weeks from the start of football practice, so we're talking football while we're out fishing. What a better way to end the summer. I'm Muddy River Sports editor Matt Schuckman, hanging out with three fantastic coaches today. Jacksonville coach Mark Grounds, Rochester coach Derek Leonard, Truman State offensive coordinator Jason Kilday. Thanks, fellas.
Hey, appreciate you having us.
It's football time, isn't it? Close
enough that you need to start thinking about it. That's for darn sure.
You're getting a little vacation in before April or August 7th gets here, right?
Yeah, we got done Saturday. We used one of our 11 on 11 days with some other Illinois college graduates, the Reeds, and
very nice.
We're gonna leave for about 8-10 days and see if I can catch a trout.
Some Adams County boys there.
Yes.
The Reeds.
Good guys.
Yes, indeed. Derek, you're getting close. I know you just did some vacation. Are you ready for August 7th to get here?
Yes, I need one more break. Just got back from the Ozarks. You're lucky I'm here. It was a wild drive with my children. We got one more week, and then me and Lindsay are going to Vegas for a few days. So.
Oh, very nice.
After Vegas, I'll be ready.
Kilday, you got your hands full with two little ones at home.
I do. This is it. We came here Thursday and ran around, caught some fish, drove around on the gator, petted some cows, and that's it. We're back in the office starting tomorrow. So.
Well, and I mean, everybody's got to get ready, whether it's a little time off or like you said, getting in the office, because August 7th is going to be here before we know it, and you got to get right to work, don't you? All of you.
Yeah.
Yep.
There's no break once August 7th hits.
No.
You always say that next stop Thanksgiving break.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, this is the only guy that recently has been nonstop till Thanksgiving break. It seems like every year, but it's a grind, and you gotta be ready to go.
What is it about this time of year that gets you excited, Derek?
Always the newness. It's always a new group. Your competitive spirits, even as kids, as playing in high school, then playing at college. I mean, this was we're such seasonal people. Every season means something different. And I know these guys are the same way, obviously. But, man, right now it's like, all right, it's time to gear up. NFL's getting ready to come back on, college, high school, football's playing. And so everybody kind of gets excited, I think. So I think we're no different than anybody else. You kind of get geared up. And you always got questions in your head, right? Hey, man, my new linebacker, can he play? Quarterback, is he going to be ready? You have so many questions. Some years more than others, but this is that time, unfortunately.
And Jason, you have the same thing, though, with the colleges, with the incoming freshmen and the transfers. You think you know what you're getting.
Correct.
But you don't know until you get them on the field.
Correct. Until you flip on those lights and you let them play, you kind of figure out what you got. But I think for anybody, starting over, I think we're all teachers, first and foremost. So now's the best time to teach here for the next month, and then see how well you pass the test in that opener. As
much as I know you guys enjoy Friday Night Lights, or in your case Saturday, and having success and winning games and stuff, how much satisfaction do you get out of the teaching side of it?
I love summer football about as much as anything, because there's not the pressure. You get to build the relationships with the kids, and you can be patient, and seeing those light bulbs go on. Well, during the season, things get accelerated a heck of a lot.
Yeah.
And, I always say that once the football season starts, I'm the dumbest man in a town of 19,000. And, so my self-esteem takes a little bit of a hit once that first day hits. But summer balls is fun.
There's a lot dumber there, don't worry.
But the teaching side of it means something to you, doesn't it, Derek?
Oh yeah, I'm like Groundsy. I love, man. It's funny how I like the summer so much. It's so much more enjoyable because you're not going against anybody else. You're just coaching. It's your kid and trying to make him the best player he can be, and that's every person. As soon as it comes up week one, it's all right, how do I got to beat Peoria? And all that goes out the window. Then it becomes a game plan. It becomes schematic. Then it becomes, man, who's where? And I let my coaches coach a lot more in the summer, defense, special teams, and it's, hey, you're just making yourselves better. And I love that part of it. And when you do go to 7-on-7, it's not like I'm scouting anybody. I mean, we just go out there, you call your plays, and you play.
Yeah.
And you get into the season, man. It's a grind, and unfortunately it's a win lose business, and it turns into that, unfortunately.
You got a couple guys who are coaching in the Central State 8. Jason, before you got into college coaching, you worked in the Central State 8.
Yes, sir.
What does the Central State 8, when you hear those words, what's that mean to you?
Man, it's competitive week in, week out. You know, anybody can beat anybody, so you better be on top of your A game. You know, if there's one spot you can be exposed, they're going to find it. Is what I remember of it.
Derek, Central State 8, how tough is it?
It's tough. It's home for it's my home. I know it's Mark's home, and man, that's all we know, and so it's it's so tough, and people don't realize how tough it is. You know, they see the success of people, but man, you see everybody's grind, and you see I've respected those guys so much, and the teams, and man, it's true. I think it's one of the top in the Midwest. You know, when you talk about stability, when you talk about just success, you talk about the coaches, and it really is tough.
Granza, you've been in it for over 20 years now, part of the league.
I think it's changed.
Mm-hmm.
I think that one of the things that I don't think our league gets enough credit about is the innovations that happen. A lot of it is because of Derek and his dad, and what you have to do to keep up with them. But
they've won a few games between the two of them.
Won a few games, but our league forces you to adapt and innovate and take risks. Sometimes those risks of schemes really pay off. Sometimes you get exposed, but there's no resting on your laurels in that league. And even the people that have teams that struggle, they can always beat you, and they always have something that you have to be able to be prepared for. And we've been competitive for most of my years, but I tell you what, it's a real struggle to keep up with we call it the space race that has become the Central State 8.
Quincy area fans get a taste of the Central State 8 every now and then. I know Quincy used to play Jacksonville. Sacred Heart saw Quincy in the playoffs just a couple years ago. You've seen Notre Dame in the playoffs several times. Now Quincy fans are going to get a full dose of the Central State 8 when Notre Dame joins here in another year in 2024. What should Notre Dame fans expect out of the Central State 8? What would be, if you describe a typical Central State 8 team, what would it be like? Is there one?
Grounds, you go ahead, but
Well, I think that we're known for quality line play on both sides of the ball. I think when you see our teams that go into the playoffs against people that aren't from our area, that's the number one comment that you get from coaches. I can't believe how physical the offensive or the defensive lines are, and then I think you look at the quarterback play. We had last year, the last 2 years, we've had 3 or 4 all-state first-team quarterbacks that came out of our league.
Yep.
So if you got a line and you got lines on both sides of the ball and you got a quarterback, that equates that game plan sessions aren't going to be easy.
What's the toughest thing about Central State 8?
I'd agree with Mark. Probably just the weekly grind of, number one, obviously good players, but great coaching, and it's a game it is even some of the teams that are down some years. I mean, they always athletically they're going to have talent. They're well coached. You just don't get any. Yeah, I mean, every once in a while you get a few. There's a few teams that are really struggling, but the middle section of our league is tough. You know what I mean? And that's why and we've all been there. It's hard to get to 5-4. It's a grind, and it's people don't realize that. And, it's just it's a fun league. It's I think we're very loyal to each other. But it is tough, and they're gonna add to the toughness of it.
Yeah.
I know Coach. He's gonna have those boys ready. And
Coach Cornell's he's excited about it.
Oh, he should be, and I know him. They're gonna fit right in from that standpoint of well coached, tough up front, physical football. I mean that's QND.
Well, part of the reason it's a fit, not only size-wise and success of their program, but his relationship with you guys. Like, he fits in, coaches fit in, Because the coaching fraternity is something special, isn't it?
If it was somebody else, I don't know if we would have. I don't know how the vote would have gone. I wasn't in that room,
Yeah.
and I don't know. Groundsy, were you?
I wasn't in the room.
Neither here nor there.
Yeah.
But he fits. We feel like he's a good dude, and I think there's a lot that goes into that. We're just not going to let anybody in the league,
Right.
Because I think, you know what I mean. I think
Yeah.
because of who he is and how he runs his program, they're stable. It's obviously arrows pointing up. And that's why he's there, and that's why I think we voted him in to a point, because it was pretty split, and they've tried in years past, I know,
Right.
To get in, and
that conversation's happened before.
I know it's happened for them a lot of places. So you feel, but man, I think because of who he is and just where they're heading, I think there's a lot to that also that they got in.
Jason, you've recruited the Central State A when you were at Quincy and at Truman, and pulled a lot of really good players out of a great conference.
Mm-hmm.
One big thing that's going to change this year is the head man at Sacred Heart Griffin. How different is it going to be without Ken Leonard coaching at Sacred Heart Griffin?
It'll be different, but with Allison, Coach Allison there, I mean, we all went to school. Derek and I went to school with him.
Yeah.
And then I coached with John for 2 seasons before I left. So it won't be that different. It'll be a pretty familiar face.
But again, you replace one legendary coach with another coach who fits the Central State A, who's going to have success, who knows what he's doing.
Yep.
It's not changing much.
No.
It's not. I promise you that. It's all those guys were with that. And John's going to put his own flavor on things. But
True.
Why would you change?
Correct.
You know what I mean? You were part of that staff, and then John did the offense for the last 5, 6, 7 years anyways.
Yep.
And so a lot of that's not going to change. They're going to be just as tough. They had a great team last year, so I know that's going to be tough to replace. But from a program, who John is, who his assistants are, Griffin's, it's not going to change at all.
I know couple of big things that have happened over the last few years is the strength of the Illinois Football Coaches Association. I know you're a big part of that.
Yeah, as is Derek.
As is Derek. How important is that group to football in Illinois?
It needs to be, man, and I don't want to talk Groundsy up too much here, but man, I really
he deserves a lot of credit.
He does, man.
Yeah.
The president with Bielema coming in. I mean, we really had. There was some stuff with our clinics, and it just, man, I think COVID naturally did some things, and it could have went 2 ways after COVID. It could have not collapsed, but really struggled, or it could have went up. And I think because of Groundsy, because of how we handled the COVID. The clinics going up now so we have so many things that are heading the right direction, and I give Mark a lot of that credit, and a lot of those guys that have been there done a great job. But it's so important. You look at some of these places, I went to the Wisconsin coaches clinic a few years back, and it was like, holy cow. And I know, man, ours is almost doubled this year from maybe 2 years ago, right, Mark?
Yeah.
And so man, it's heading back in the right direction, and man, like I said, it could have went other ways, but Groundsy did a good job with his leadership and getting that thing going, because COVID was tough for everybody, including us.
It's important to have a group like that, isn't it?
It is, and I think COVID taught us we've got to be proactive for each other.
Yeah.
We can't be upstate, downstate, Chicago Catholic, Chicago. It's got to be Illinois football, and our IHSA. They do a good job with their tournaments and stuff like that, but there are things that we needed to have a voice as coaches about on what we know will allow Illinois high school football to gain the recognition nationwide that we need so our kids get recruited, but things that we need to do to help our kids to have the ability to have even better experiences. And I think one of the things the Coaches Association was able to get past that is already, I think, the first summer that came into effect, Derek, you can correct me if I'm wrong on this, but we now get 4 contact days where we can go 11 on 11 in helmet and shoulder pads against another team legally. Right. Everybody found a way to have some involvement with other people, but now we can do it illegally. We can do it legally. Yeah. We can do it right. We can get like-minded people together, and the teaching film that you get over the summer. We have 4 opportunities to have semi-live contact in game-type situations before we ever play that first game. So you find out if that kid, before week 1, can play, or does he need to be a backup?
Some people didn't get rolling or didn't know who they were till week 3 or 4.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's man. And sometimes it's too late in a week 9 season. It's amazing the difference I think that's going to have on just hey, who are we, who's our personnel.
Yeah.
And COVID, but I'm telling you, it brought the Chicago coaches, and it kind of connected us, whether through Zoom and just through a common cause, more than I think we had ever been. At least my time as a coach, you know what I mean. That kind of brought us all together, and I think it passed that partly because we were one voice finally. And on other times, I don't know if that would have passed.
I will say I really enjoyed over the last couple of weeks seeing the tweets and the social media posts of the coaches. Hey, thanks for getting together for an 11-on-11 workout, and thanks for practicing with us. The camaraderie was there, and you could see it, and it wasn't people being blowhards. It was true coaches. The camaraderie is there.
Yeah, and we got better without pressure.
Yeah,
there's only, I hear Derek say it at FCA camp, and I echo this. There's 2 things that we needed to accomplish from it. Number 1, we need to get better. Number 2, we need to get out of this healthy. And when you emphasize those 2 things, you literally become one team for a practice, and it was just so enjoyable seeing the progress on all sides. Nobody leaves completely happy because there's things that you realize, man, I got a lot more work to do than what I thought I did. But you also see some kids that do some really cool things that when those light bulbs go on, those are the moments that you coach for.
This has been fun, fellas, talking football. I know it's hot out here, and I know we still got a couple of weeks till we actually get started on it, but I'm ready. I'm ready for football.
I am too.
Good.
Yes.
Yeah. I know you're going on vacation, so I know you're in vacation mode, aren't you?
I'll sneak away and do practice plans. I'll get yelled at. Where are you? And the iPad will be there to look at stuff. But
Coach Cornell's going to give me grief, and he's going to be a part of this next time.
He's fine. He can always come. He's entertainment now.
He is entertaining.
Yep.
He will have the biggest beard of anyone.
Yes, he
no
would.
doubt.
Yes.
You got to get a bigger truck.
He may stand a little bit
you're right.
taller than us too.
He takes up a little space.
Yep.
As I say that, he'll give me crap for saying that about him, but that's all right. So, fellas, I look forward to football season. I know I probably won't see much of you guys this year. Next year that changes.
That'll be fun.
Yeah,
and that'll be fun. I haven't been around the Central State 8 much in the last few years. I look forward to being back around it.
Well, we look forward to having you. I appreciate this.
This has been fun. Thanks for doing it. We're going to do this again.
Anytime.
Absolutely.
All right.
Thank you, buddy.
For Jason Kilday, Derek Leonard, Mark Grounds, I'm Matt Schuckman. This has been another episode of Schuck on a Truck.
Muddy River Sports. Our home, our sports.